Hey, Kelly here, and just as a disclaimer, I am not driving. So with Facebook Live, it switches around the picture, so I am the passenger, just so you know. But I want to talk specifically to my friends who are in sales. And if you own your own business, then you are in sales. And many of you know some of my background. I worked in outside sales for companies like Hilton and Office Depot and some other smaller independent companies. And I've owned my own business. Andy and I have owned a business together. And so, like I said, if you're a business owner, you are the salesperson, and you're responsible ultimately for all the sales and all the income that's coming in and out of your company. So I was just watching and listening to a podcast just the other day, and it really struck me because it was talking about how when you're in sales, you are only being paid for each thing that you individually sell. That may sound simple, and you're like, well, duh. But I was always very good at what I did. And the problem with that is that it can become a problem for the company that you work for. Because when you figure out a comp plan and you max it out, often with a lot of companies in corporate America, and the lighting is weird here, so I'm sorry for that. They don't want to pay you that. And they want to figure out how can they pay you less and get you to produce more. So the first company I worked for, I was in charge of a trade show team, worked tons and tons of hours, traveled, but I was very good at what I did. And I got sort of the bug of, well, wow, I can make some money doing this. And unfortunately for my marriage and my family, that left Andy sort of to be a single parent. And I would get home from traveling and didn't want to talk to anybody, didn't want anybody to touch me or be around me because I was exhausted. And I'd given all my emotional and physical energy to strangers so that I could make money. And that's how I justified it. So went from that company to another Fortune probably 100 company, again, in outside sales, and did really, really well. I see some of the people that are watching this video who are in outside sales, and so I hope you're listening. So was very successful with that company. I had a pretty good sized territory, got clients, and was compensated really well. Actually got to go on the President's Club trip, got to go to the Atlantis Resort for about a week. It was wonderful until I came home from that trip. And there was a lot of jealousy. My boss didn't get to go on that trip, and I had actually outperformed him in my quota that year. Well, that can get to be a real ego problem for some people. And they want to figure out how can they pay you less. So maybe what we'll do is we'll change the comp plan. Or we'll change your territory and make it a little more difficult for you to achieve these goals. So that's what happened to me in this company. Came back from that awesome trip. They changed the comp plan. They changed my territory. And they gave away some of those really good accounts that I had brought in and cultivated, and gave me a whole territory that was really struggling because they felt like, well, A, you're probably not going to get as big of a bonus this year and a commission, and B, maybe you can bring up some of these struggling accounts and make us look better. And if you quit, then we'll just hire somebody that can maybe do 75% of what you did, but we'll pay them way less. And so that's what happened. I said, forget it. I remember going to my boss and I said, hey, I'm probably not even gonna get a bonus this year. And they said, and I quote, well, the Brinks truck came to your house this year, so it'll be okay. You'll eventually get back there. And this affects so few such a small percentage of the people that work here. And my response was, well, it affects 100% of the people in my family who depend on this income coming in. And so I did leave the company. I worked for a couple of other smaller companies, did really well. And I always used to think to myself, if I could just figure out how to duplicate myself, if I could just figure out how to have two Kellys and clone myself. But we all have 24 hours a day. We're all given the exact same amount of time, and you can only work so much. And believe me, your family suffers, because I got to the point where even when I was at home, I was still working all the time. And Andy and I were trying to figure out how we could maybe run a separate side business on our own. So then he was working full time and doing all these crazy designs that I was coming up with, and I was trying to do speaking engagements, and to the point where we hated each other because we were arguing all the time about who was going to do what with the kids and how could we entertain the kids. And if you're having that kind of conversation, sorry about that, my phone rang. If you're having that kind of conversation in your house, you got to make some changes. And so we did. We got rid of our extra businesses. I changed jobs, and I say it got less crazy, but I just took another job where I was just in a sales role traveling. We didn't have all these extra things going on. So here comes network marketing for me. I was able to find a way that not only could I duplicate myself, and I could help to train other people to be successful, not out of jealousy and have no threat of someone firing me no, the whole point of it is that I'm going to help people be as successful as I am or more. I want the people that I work with to be more successful than me and do it faster than I did, which is totally foreign in the world of corporate America and corporate sales, where everybody wants to push you down so you don't do better than them and make them look bad. So now the people that I get to work with, it is a joy. And I'm not working 60 to 80 hours a week. I'm working 2 to 3 hours a day with people that I really like. I'm helping to change people's lives with products that are amazing. And I'm getting compensated better than when I worked 60 to 80 hours a week with people that I didn't necessarily want to be around. And I get to be with my family. I got to go to summer camp with my kids this past summer. And it was the most just amazing thing ever. So if you're thinking, how can I take my skills and how can I leverage that to help other people and be compensated in a way that I never have been. I didn't even know that something like this existed, to be honest with you. I'd seen other companies, I'd seen other people be in other network marketing companies, and I watched them go into debt and be away from their families all the time. I didn't even know that it was a possibility to be able to make some money, help other people, feel amazing while you're doing it, and get out of the rat race. So Lily Tomlin, I'm dating myself a little bit, comedian, actress, one of her quotes is, even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. So I would say, figure out how to get out. And traditional business ownership may not be the way for you. High startup cost, and you get to be everybody's babysitter. I've now been able to duplicate myself. In the beginning when I said I wish that I could find a way to duplicate myself one time, I've now been able to figure out how to duplicate myself over 1,000 times and have been able to indirectly help change the lives of tens of thousands of people for their health, for their finances, and for their well-being. I mean, it is something that is super humbling and is mind-blowing. And I'm still looking for people to help. That's the cool thing. I'll never stop talking to people about network marketing as a way to get out of the rat race. You don't even have to be a rat anymore. There is a way, and I've done it, and I will show you exactly what I did and help you every step of the way to do it better and faster. So if you're in, let me know, because I am here to help. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope you'll take me up on my offer to help you not have to go back to work on Monday morning if that's not your choice. So have a great weekend. Love you guys.